that God's aim in the universe is to be known and enjoyed by His creatures and thus to be shown more glorious than any other reality. And here's an argument. Corporate worship is one essential way that God designs for this display of His glory to be expressed in the world and in anticipation of the final perfect worship in the age to come. Book of Revelation shows us worshiping corporately there, and I'm arguing here that since God's aim in the universe is to be known and enjoyed by His creatures and to be shown to be glorious, one way is corporate togetherness for the display of and enjoyment of that glory. I'm arguing that if there were no such thing as corporate gatherings for worship, and you all just did private worship, God would not be glorified as fully as He intends to be. He intends to be glorified more publicly, more fully, in ways besides the intense enjoyment you have in Him when you sing to Him or pray to Him or confess to Him or thank Him, praise Him in your private room. He's a public God, and therefore corporateness is huge to God. And I don't know if I'm going to get to this. Let me say it here, and when I get to it, I'll just skip it if I do. There's a reason for that. Why the getting together adds to the glory that God gets than just private. And one of the reasons is it's hard to do unified corporate worship. And if you can overcome all the diversity, now there's, in one sense, there's huge diversity in this room, because you're also different. And in one sense, there's little diversity in this room, ethnically or language-wise or culturally. But just take this diversity. For us to meet on a common ground, sing songs together, pray prayers together, hear preaching together is hard, because you're not going to like some of the songs, and you're not going to like some of the things the preacher says, and just being you makes you want to do it your way and go somewhere else. If we could pull off a sweet, tender unity in corporate praise and confession and thanks, God would get more glory than if we all fragmented into our private rooms. A second way to say it is, when there's a choir that sings unison, it can make a magnificent, loud, powerful sound to the glory of God. But when they break into parts, something else happens. Hard to describe what it is. I try sometimes to sing a part. I can't. I've only learned a few hymns with parts. I'm not a singer. But I love it when I'm in a little prayer meeting or a big prayer meeting, and the person next to me, like Amy Anderson or Ed Catterson, suddenly I'm singing Amaze, and they hit another note that if I try, it sounds like I'm off key. When they do it, it doesn't sound like they're off key. It sounds like beauty, a different beauty, a more beauty. I mean, unison is good, and that's good. And what I'm saying is corporateness is the more. It's the more of the reflection of God's glory, not only at the musical level, but at all kinds of levels. So that is an argument from the purpose of God to be glorified fully implies corporateness, a getting together to praise Him.